Good day. Welcome back to Talkless Interior Academy. So today we are going to be discussing on wall cracks. So wall cracks is a topic that we need to discuss as an interior designer because majority of what we are doing is on the wall. And when our wall is cracked, how do we fix it? So to a perfect way. So when wall is cracked, we should know the kind of cracks on the wall and the best solution for the cracks. Now, when we are talking about wall cracks is majorly categorized into two. So the first one is structural cracks, and the second one is non-structural cracks. When we are talking about structural cracks, they are cracks that come from the main structure of a building. They are cracks that are wide, and it is very serious and dangerous crack that needs a special attention. So these structural cracks, it is divided into two. So the first one is foundation settlement and the second one is poor structure design or weak material. So when we are talking about the when we are talking about the foundation settlement, so these are what can cause cracks right from the foundation. So number one causes from the foundation settlement is one, weak soil. When they use weak soil while doing their foundation, so it's possible to have a wall crack after the building has been completed or before. So second thing is poor foundation design. Then again, we have water weakening the soil. If that land is a moisture place, so that is the water there is much, so it can be weaken the soil there and later cause crack on the wall. Then so when there is heavy load on the wall, the structures can lead to wall cracks. And how do we fix all these cracks? One is for you to call a structural engineer, you know the best thing to do. Then two, underpinning foundation. Three, inject structural epoxy. And the last one here is install reinforcement if there is low or weak reinforcement there. So that is that about foundation settlement. Now moving to poor structure design or weak materials. So what are the causes of cracks here? One is using too much of sand when mixing cement. Two is using low quality cement. Three is no proper reinforcement. When there is no proper reinforcement, it can lead to cracks. And the four is removing load bearing walls. When you remove load bearing walls, that is the wall that is carrying much load, you remove it. So the other one we have cracks. So how do we solve this one? One is structural reinforcement, build a reinforcement there. Two is steel support system. So you install a steel support system there. Then the last one is rebuilding affected wall if necessary. So if the wall that is cracked is much or severe, so it's better for you to do what? To just rebuild it. So to solve the problem once and for all, then you continue the work there. So the second category here is non-structural cracks. So these non-structural cracks, they are meaning like they are tiny cracks so that we just see on the wall. So it is cracks that is not deep to the main structure building. So it's just the cracks that we find on the surface. So all these cracks is not as dangerous as the first category of cracks that we mentioned earlier. So here I have it's divided into five places. So the first one is shrinkage cracks. The second one is temperature changes cracks. The third one is poor workmanship, and the fourth one is water damage, and the last but not the least, special area cracks. Now, when we are talking about shrinkage cracks, what are the causes? Number one cause is too much water while in plasters when they are plastering, when they put too much water in the mixing, so it can lead to cracks. Two, fast drying during hot sun. So when the plaster material is not dry, it's too it dries early before the normal time that it has to take. Maybe when there is a situation where there is hot sun, so it's dry quickly, so it can lead to cracks. And the last one here is poor mixing ratio. So when their mixing ratio is too poor, so it can lead to cracks. So how do we solve this one? One is scrape the loosened area. You apply you apply filler or POP cement on it. Then use sandpaper, then prime and repaint. So that is that about shrinkage cracks. Number two is temperature changes price. When you are talking about temperature changes cracks, is temperature changes cracks. These are the cracks that caused by the changes in temperature when there's heat. The building expand when there is cool when the temperature is cool. So the building contract. So how do we fix this kind of cracks? Number one thing is you apply a what is it called? You apply a flexible filler, so a filler that can expand. So there are some filler like that, and you use paint that have elasticity. Then you use control joints when there is a large area. So you use control joints to hold it together. So that is that about temperature changes. And the next one is poor workmanship. So when we are talking about poor workmanship, so what are the causes of cracks here? One is no cleaning of block. Two, plastering immediately after block laying. Three is not using mesh at weak points. So when you have some weak points, so and you are not using mesh to hold it together, so it can lead to cracks. And the last one here is no bonding agents before plaster. So there is bonding agent that you are expected to use to hold the building together. But if you don't use it, you just plaster the wall. So there is possibility that there was going to be some cracks on the wall. So how do we fix this one? One is remove weak plaster. So if it is caused by weak plaster, remove it and replaster. So then another thing is use fiber mesh at joint. So you should use mesh when you are supposed to use it. And the last one here is allow proper curing of block. So after laying the blocks, so that is that on poor workmanship. And the next one here is water damage. So water is one of the biggest enemy of our work. So you should know how to